Hello, it's Aamina Hennings. I'm so glad you tuned in tonight for Amina's Moment. I'm so grateful and just so elated that these videos have helped. Even if it's just a few of you, that's a few more than were helped like months ago. So I'm really excited about that. And again, I want to begin this video by saying that I'm not here to give any advice. I'm just here to give you little pieces of information that you can take and make it tailor-made for you to fit you for success. So you take what fits. If it doesn't fit, throw it out and move on. That's what I do with some things that I hear anyway. So don't tell anybody I said that. But anyway, let's get started. The last video that we did, we posted that last Sunday. And we were talking about self-esteem, and like I said before, it's very dear to me, and so that's why I wanted to continue on, because it was some things that I didn't get to that I wanted to. And we also ended with the topic of self-worth. And again, the common denominator here, it's self. Again, it starts right here. This is where it originates. This is where it should stem from, yourself. So how you view yourself, it needs to start from you. It doesn't need to start because someone said something nice to you, or you saw something on TV that kind of reminded you of you, or kind of boosted you a little bit. Those are fine and good. Words from people are fine and good when they're positive, but think about the fact that you are special, you are an individual, and you should be praised in your individuality. You should be excited about who you are, who God has made you. That is an amazing thing. So let's get started with tonight's discussion. I have some more notes because last week, I'm telling you, I had some stuff that I had written down and I didn't get to it, so I do apologize, but I'm so excited that I get to continue this on with you this week. Okay, so last week we were talking about self-esteem, we were talking about self-worth, and we kind of ended on the note of recognizing who you are, that it's not based on someone, a particular situation, or even your accomplishments. And so I want to kind of start with that tonight. And I want you to think about whether you're 12, 20, or 55. I want you to remember, if in fact you experienced this, because I did. Do you ever remember looking at TV, a billboard, listening to a song, looking at a magazine, looking at your friends, looking at baby dolls or pictures of celebrities? Do you ever remember looking at those things and wondering to yourself, wait a minute, am I like that? Am I that good, or am I bad? Or am I not good enough? I remember looking at my baby dolls and I looked at them and said, oh, they have such pretty long hair. I want that. Well, I had decent length hair, but it sure wasn't as long as theirs. And I had to come to understand and realize, again, going back to what my father said, I'm going to, definitely be talking about him with some things, because he has gone on now. He passed away last year, but it's so much that he taught me that I want to be able to share. So forgive me if you get tired of hearing about my dad. But anyway, I just want to let you know, even remembering the conversation about the mirror in the home, thinking about that, when I look back on the times that I looked at TV and those people that were celebrities that were, before me all the time, and today, now we have reality TV, which, and this is just my personal opinion, sometimes it's not reality, but then maybe that's their reality, but that's not, I don't believe it's all real. So again, that's just Amina's moment comment and her opinion. But one of the things that we face now is that we're able to look at this stuff on the internet, we're able to see it on TV, we're seeing it in the movies, and I feel bad in a sense that our young people, that you have to be faced with, this is what you're supposed to look like, or your hair is supposed to be like this, and if your facial features are not like this, then you're not beautiful. And I am not talking to one particular race. I believe we are all beautiful in our own skin. And so when I think about the differences in those that may have an Irish background from those who are from the Jamaican islands, we're all different, but we're all so beautiful because God made us that way. He didn't make any mistakes. We may view flaws, and we may look at those things that we feel, why didn't I have that, or why wasn't I like this? we got to throw that out of the window. It has to go, because it's not the thing that makes us. And so I want you to remember that in your skin, you're beautiful. Now, in your skin, you're going to experience some things that may try to damage your self-esteem or try to belittle your self-worth. And one of those things is rejection. And I know what it's like to be rejected. I'm sure we all have had a form of rejection. So me telling you, oh, you know, she's been rejected, I know that's not like the biggest story that needs to be on the news. I get that concept. But I do understand what it feels like to be rejected. And I'm going to give you just a very small example. Again, I got to put those personal experiences in there, because I need you to know that I am a real person. I have real issues, and I am not perfect by any means. So I want you to look at me like, oh, you know what, that's just Aamina. Call me just Aamina. That would be fine. But one of the things that I remember and I've kind of gone through was actually dealing with job interviews. Now, some of you may have not gotten to the age where you've had a job interview yet, but you go through filling out the application, you turn in your resume, you're all excited, you're thinking like, yeah, I can do this, I can do that, I fit this qualification. And then you get a call, and they want to do maybe a phone interview. That's like the initial. So you get on the phone, you know, you have your questions ready that you're going to answer and all this stuff, and they love you. It's like, oh wow, this is great, you know. So let's say a week or two, they then call and say, you know, we want to do a face-to-face. So by this time, for me, I'm thinking like, oh, I think I might have it. I'm not saying that I do, but I think I just might have it. And go to the face-to-face interview, and there have been a couple that I'm like, I know I bombed it. I know it. I already know it. So I wasn't expecting them to call me back. But then there are those that you're like, wow, I think, you know what, I think they really like me. I think this might go somewhere. And then you get the call or an email stating, we've gone with other candidates. Now, I could take that rejection, because that is a form of rejection. They basically told me, Aamina, we don't want you. I could take that and say, I might as well just stop. I'm stuck. Or why try to do anything else? Why try to pursue something greater? But you cannot, young people, you cannot allow rejection to be a stopping stone. You need to use it as a stepping stone. Because every time, my Uncle Lou told me, every time you go in an interview, you are getting more and more experience with interviewing. How can you get experience with interviewing if you never go in an interview? It really does make a little sense. And so when he said that, I'm thinking like, that was really encouraging, although they just turned me down for this job. But I felt good about it, because I'm thinking like, I'm getting experience. I'm getting exposed to some people, and you never know who they may talk to, who they may know. And so when you're dealing with rejection, do not allow that to stop you. Allow that to be a step for you to say, oh, it's okay, because I can do better next time. I can reach higher next time. And so the feelings that come along with dealing with your self-esteem and your self-worth, I'm telling you, it's something that is priceless and it is precious. When you're dealing with that, you shouldn't allow anybody who does not want you to make you feel as though you are not good enough, because you are good enough. You just might not be good for that particular job. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm a very transparent person. I think sometimes I tell too much of my business. But I will say this, every person that I dated before I got married, they were wonderful young men. I don't have anything negative to say about any of them. But they weren't for me. So it's not that I had to settle. But when you find that one thing that fits you, that's when you're able to say, huh, okay, all right, I got this. And so it's not about what others think about you, because your self-worth, it's not based on anybody else. It's based on what do you think you're measured up to be. And if you feel like, well, I can only get an 8th grade education, that's all you're going to get. But if you say to yourself, you know what, I'm worth more than an 8th grade education. Let me go on to high school. Let me do it right. You know what, I think I got that down. Let me go on to college. Let me do something else that maybe some of my friends are not doing. And you accomplish that, you are then building your own worth. You are the one that's doing that. And so I want to encourage you, as I always do, you reach for the greatest. You be the greatest that you can be, because you are the best you that has ever existed. Nobody else can be like you. And I believe you are wonderful. And if you have any questions for me, any comments, I would love to hear them, because again, I'm not going to allow external factors to determine me and to give me my self-esteem and my self-worth. I have to do that for Aamina, and I want you to do it for you. So I'm hoping that you pass these videos on to your friends and family. Let them know what's going on with Amina's moment. That's pretty good, because it's something that I believe will help other people. So until next week, you have an amazing night, an amazing day, and you be successful in everything you put your hands to. And do not, and I repeat, do not settle for anything less than the best. You have a great one. Thank you for tuning in to Amina's Moment, and I will see you next week.